Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this two-piece. So what you're going to do is your widest, so we're going to start with the top. So you're going to do the widest part of your body, right? So it can be your hip or your bust depending on your size. So whatever it is, so for me it's going to be my hip, which is 48 divided by 4 is going to be 12 plus extra 3 inches, that will be 15. So I'm going to go ahead and cut fabric that is 15 inches of width, right? And then the length I want to cut is going to be 30. I want my top to be 30 inches of length. It depends on you, whatever length you want yours to be. Just know it's supposed to be at least 1 inch longer than your short. That's the short pants under. So I'm doing 30 inches for the length of the top. I'm going to add 1.5 to it so that I can use it as my seam allowance. So I'm going to go ahead and roll the line straight. So guys, you see I've cut 2 of it here. So you see the first one on a fold, the second one also on a fold. You see, folded and also folded, because I'm going to be cutting the front and the back together. Remember what I said, the width is going to be your hip, the widest part of your body, maybe your hip or your bust, divided by 4 plus 3 inches plus your length. I'm working with 30. I added 1.5, or you can do 2 inches for your seam allowance, half an inch to join the shoulder, and then to hem the end. Now I will explain why I said 3 inches. So remember, the back has a slit at the back, the front has a zip. So what we are going to do is we are going to go ahead and mark 1 inch by the center here and rule a straight line out. So guys, the first thing you're going to do is to iron it out, and then you're going to go ahead and mark 1 inch here. So this 1 inch I'm marking by the center. In front is going to serve as my zip allowance. At the back is going to serve as the slit that I'm going to be adding there. So I'm going to close it up at the back, but towards the end I'm going to just fold it away. But that's the one for the back, but the one in front I'm going to leave it open all the way to like halfway through, and then add a zip to it. You see, but I'm just trying to explain how you're going to use that 1 inch, that one inch out of the 3, right? So now we've marked a straight line here. I hope you guys can see it. So this line here, I marked it by the center front here. So after this line, all my measurements are going to be coming after this line. You understand? So first thing now is to go ahead and insert my shoulder measurement divided by 2. Mark it. I'm going to come down here, mark 1 inch of shoulder slope. Insert my armhole length, which is basically your round your bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. Connect it all the way to the top. Come to the bust line, which is this chest line. Your bust divided by 4, and then you're going to go ahead and add 1 inch of ease. If 1 inch of ease will be too big for you, just use half an inch of ease, and then 1 inch of seam allowance. So that will be 1.5. But I want it to be a little bit free, so I'm going to do 1 inch of ease, 1 inch of seam allowance. I'm going to also go from my shoulder here, mark my waistline, and then mark my shoulder to my hip line. The next thing is on this waistline, what I'm going to do is, starting from this point again, you're going to measure your waist divided by 4. Here you can definitely do 2 inches, like 1 inch of ease and 1 inch of seam allowance, because there's not going to be any dart here and you want it a little bit free. Instead it will be too tight. So even if you do half an inch of ease for the bust, try to do 2 inches for the waist. So I'm going to add 2 inches here, and then I'm going to come down to the hip here, my hip divided by 4, and just 1 inch here. You see, because the hip is not going to be sewn close towards the hip, it's going to stop before the hip, so it's going to just be a slit here. So it doesn't matter whatever I do here, that's why I just did 1 inch here, right? Because there's no need for seam allowance here, because this is going to be open by the side. So you're not going to need any there's no need for ease. All you need is just the seam allowance, which will still fold away. So now all I have to do is just to connect it from here, from this point to the waist, and then from the waist to the bust. And that's basically it. I'm just going to go ahead and give it a curve here, come down to the neck here, and then I'm going to do 3 inches of neck width. Connect the 1 inch of shoulder slope to this point, and then I'm going to do 1.5 inch for the back neckline and 3 inches for the front neckline. So guys, we're just going to go ahead and cut. So I'm going to cut just the upper neckline, the armhole, all the way to this point and down. So guys, once it's done, the next thing you're going to do is to, you see, I've cut out everything, so I'm going to go ahead and separate them, because you know I pinned it down before so it doesn't move, because remember we cut the front and the back together. So I'm going to just remove the back, set it aside, and then the front, I'm going to come to this armhole here. Halfway through this line, I'm going to go in by like ½ an inch here, just so my sleeve will relax better here. And then I'm going to just curve it this way, and then I'm going to cut this out. And then after that, I'm also going to cut down these 3 inches of neckline that I marked here. And then after that, I'm going to split open the front, because this is our zipper allowance, so I'm going to split it open. We also have to split open the back, split it open, because there's a slit at the back too. But for the back, there's something I would do for mine. Is okay. So guys, you see, I went in and marked that 1 inch line on the back, just so I don't confuse you guys. And then I marked my shoulder to waist again, where the waist is. One thing I'm thinking I should do, just so that my back will not bulk up on this, is that I can even go in and mark ½ an inch here, and then take it and blend it in this way. Like blend it in, and then also mark it down this way. But you don't really have to do this. This is just me trying to shape it in. I've already shaped it by the side, so this is not really necessary. That way, when I go to sew my 1 inch now, my 1 inch is going to come out this way. It's not going to be straight anymore. You understand? So it's going to go something like this. So if I cut out this part now, my 1 inch seam is going to go in this way. So guys, I went ahead and cut that out. So now the next thing I have to do is just to place the this together this way. And then this is my back, right? I will start with the back panel, and then I'm going to take it and sew it all the way. Sew it from this point here, sew it all the way down to up to like 4 inches below the waistline. It depends on you where you want your sleeve to start. You know it cannot start from your half length. It will be too open. So maybe you can do 2 inches below your half length, or like 4 inches below your half. You just have to measure on yourself, and whatever you decide to use is what you're going to use all over, right? So the same measurement I use here is what I'll use on the side, is where I'm going to stop. Like, if you measure from your shoulder to where you want all your sleeve to start, that's what you're going to use for the center back. That's what you're going to use for the side. That's what you're going to use everywhere, even for the zipper in front, right? That's where your zip will stop in front. So I'm going to go ahead and join the center back now, and then add the shoulder to the shoulder. So guys, this is what I'm using for my sleeve. You see, it's on a fold here, right? I just cut a piece of cloth that looks like this, folded it into 2. Now I'm going to also fold it again. It depends on you, the length you want your sleeve to be. I'm going to go ahead and come down from here 4 inches for my cap height. This total I have here is 10 inches. That's including my seam allowance. Come down 4 inches for cap height. Connect it straight. Halfway through, give it curve here, and then curve like this. Come down here, insert my sleeve width plus ease, and then add 1 inch of seam allowance. Connect it this way, and then I'm going to go ahead, cut from here all the way down to the top. So guys, this is my sleeve. So I'll go ahead and join it to the body of the top. So guys, this is it here. I've gone ahead, joined the sides, joined everything, folded the end here. So you see, I stopped at from my shoulder to 21 inches, both at the back, everywhere. You see the same place is where I stopped all the way around, and at the same point, this 21 inch is where I'm also going to stop my zip. So my zip, you see, I've gone ahead and ironed where I'm going to be the flap for my zip. So what you can do is you can weave this end here so that it will look clean. That's the rough edge of the clothes. Just weave it, then fold it, iron it down, and then you separate the two zips, right? Separate your zip, like the two sides of the zip like this. Sew one, starting from that 22 inches, sew one on this side, cut off the excess. Do the same on this side, sew it on this side, cut off the excess, and then use bias to run it over on top of this, right? So you're going to take your bias and then start to sew it round on top of this, so that way you can also fold in the edge of this zipper. Once that is done, the next thing is just to go ahead and sew this part here. You see, all you have to do now is just how I'm going to end all my finish up all these sides is just the way it is now. You see, this is the center back. If I open it, this is the center back. I've already stopped where I want, double stitch it this side, fold it first once and then fold it twice, sew it down. Do the same on this other side, fold it once, fold it twice, like this, sew it down. So you're going to, just like how you fold the end of your clothes, fold it this way, sew it from this part, cross over at that point of that 21, and then cross over like this, and then you continue the stitch going down, so it will look something like an N facing down. The same thing is what I'll do on this side. So this, fold it first once, fold it again the second time, sew it from one side, enter this other side, finish it. Do the same thing on this side. But the one in front, if you don't want any seam, because another thing you can do is once you put your zip here, I already know where my zip is going to start, which is somewhere here. Another thing you want to do is just to complete the seam all the way to the end, one straight stitch down. Or if you don't want any seam there, you can just take your glued this tape here, put it inside of it and iron it down. Once you've hemmed this with an the weaving machine, you just have to put this in between it and then sew every other thing down. That way you don't have to make any stitch. That's if you don't want any stitch on top of this front part. Even for the side too, if you want, you can just use your glue to hold every other thing down. But for me, I'm going to sew it on the side, but in front I might just weave it. And that's basically how you're going to do the top. So guys, for the pants, this is how you're going to cut it. I'm just going to do it like quickly, because I already have up to, like, I'm sure maybe more than 10 or so on my channel on how to cut short. It's very easy. So you see, I have fabrics folded into two here. The first one is folded into two. The second one is also folded into two this way. So what you're going to do is, and if you notice, the one behind, the second fold behind is longer by I think 2.5 at the top, and then 3 inches by the crotch, by this side, because this is going to be the top, this is going to be the crotch part here, the top of the pant, the crotch, and then the end of the pant. So all I have to do is just to take it this way. Let me just separate it so I don't confuse you guys. Take it this way. The width of this is just my hip divided by 4, which is 12 plus 3 inches. Or you can do or you can just do, once you get your hip divided by 4, whatever it is, if it's 11, if it is 12, whatever you get, divide it again by 4. That's how you're going to get that little space between your crotch here. That's how you're going to determine the length on this other side. So for me, I've done it, so I know that my hip divided by 4 is 12. My hip is 48, divided by 4 is 12. And then that 12 again, if I divide it by 4, I'm going to have 3. So I already know, that's why I said 3 or 3.5. So make sure that that is the width of your cloth. And then after that, I'm going to go from, so first I'm going to mark my hip measurements down here. That 12 inches, hip divided by 4, take it up and mark it also at the top here. If you want ease, you can also do 0.5. As you're cutting it now, as you're marking it now, you can just add 0.5 to it. So once you're done, I'm going to go from the top part here, and then you're going to do your hip divided by 4, add it here. That is going to be the crotch length. If you don't, if you want, you can also put your tape this way, because 2 inches of the band, right? And then because I like to pull my pant really high, so I like to just not put into consideration the band, but ideally you are going to put into consideration 2 inches of the band, and then you're going to mark where your crotch is supposed to be. So this is where it's supposed to be for me, 12 inches, which is on this line here, right? Because my band is still going to come in and complete the full length. But like I said, I like to bring mine down. And then I'm going to just give it the curve, and then after that, that's basically it for my front panel. All I have to do is just go ahead and cut it. I'm not cutting anything down here. I'm not cutting anything here because I want it free. If you want, you can just put your thigh, round your thigh measurement, divide it by 2, whatever you have. You can remove some from this side and some from this side, right? But I'm not going to do that, so I'm just going to leave it the way it is. Guys, just leave it this way. You see that you like it, except if you don't like it, then you can go in and shape it. So this, now I'm going to put it here like this, right? I'm going to take it, my front panel is done now, right? All I have to do is just to split it at the side, which I forgot to do, so that I'll have my 2-piece here for the front. So now I place that 2-piece on the back panel. All you have to do is to extend the crotch in a straight line by that 3 inches you've already added here on the fabric. Once you've extended it, you're going to go ahead and also add from this point here, you're going to go ahead and add 2 inches. This is where your seam allowance will come in now, because I didn't say anything about seam allowance since. So you're just going to go ahead now and add seam allowance, which is 2 inches. You can do 2.5 depending on the amount of fabric you used to sew. After that, curve it again into that same crotch, right? You're going to, once you do this here, bring it down and curve it into this crotch, and after that, extend this line all the way to the top and then curve it all the way this side in form of an angle. This is basically your pants. All I have to do is cut this part out and cut this part out. Once you're done, also split it open. So now you have 4 pieces. So 2 pieces for the front, which all you have to do is take it to the sewing machine, join the 2 fronts by the crotch together, take the back, also join the 2 together here. So just take it this way and join the crotch together this way. Once that is done, the next thing you have to do is to give it a dart. So for the front, I like to come in, after sewing it here, come in 4 inches, give it like a 9 inches dart or 8 inches dart. And then from the back also, I like to come in the same 4 inches and give it like a 5 inches dart, half an inch on both sides. And then you're going to take your band this way, split it into 2. So this is the band. So basically I'm going to be using a 2 inches band, right? So that means it's supposed to be 5 inches of width. That's what I'm trying to say. So let me cut out what I'll work with. So like I said, this pant is going to have band in front, elastic at the back. So all I have to do is, once this part, I've joined this crotch now. Let me just pin it so it will look like I've joined it. So once you've joined it now, it's going to look something like this. You've added your dart. All you have to do is fold this into 2. Like I said, 5 inches of width. Fold it into 2. Tuck in half an inch. Tuck in half an inch on this side, right? And then take this waist here, put it inside there, and make a straight stitch all the way to the end. Then you have the band in front. Take your the back of your pants. Do the same thing. Open up the width here. Take this same casing again. Fold it half an inch on this side, half an inch on this side. Insert it just half an inch deep. Close it back up, sew it down. This front one will just have the band, but the back panel, you're going to pass elastic through the casing that you've made. Once that is done, take the 2 of them like this, and then close it up by the side. Close the seam here, close the seam here, close the 2 crotch together. You understand? When I say the 2 crotch, I mean just this end here remaining after you've joined the 2 sides of it. And if you want, at this point, you can also go ahead and insert your pocket here, right? Just come down like 1.5 inch from the waist and then insert a pocket to the side. I also have a video on how to do like the pocket that comes in front of the clothes. Anyone you want is cool. So I'm going to insert all of them below. So let me go ahead and couple mine together, and I'll bring it back so you guys can see. So guys, you see what I was saying, once you join the band in front, join the band at the back, you're going to sew close the two sides and then sew close the cord. So all I have to do is just to take it this way, fold it this way, and then I've folded the edges here. And then, like I said, if you also want to add pocket to yours, just go ahead and add in a pocket on the side, or you can, there are different ways to add a pocket. So I have different videos on shorts on how you can add the one that will just come in front somewhere like this, that goes from the side in front like this. So but I'm just going to use a piece of cloth to join to the side here and add a pocket. So after that, now the next thing is just to take this elastic like this, right? And then I'm going to start from one side of the back, pass it to the end, close up this part, close up this part. But you have to just adjust it enough to use, like enough to cinch in the waist here. So basically you can do half of your waist measurement, because it's just half of the back that is going to, right? So half is front, half for the front, half for the back. So you're going to use maybe half of your waist, and then just exactly half of your waist, maybe -1 inch, so that you can use it as your seam allowance also for the sides. You understand? So you, because remember it's an elastic, you don't have to account for the seam allowance, maybe 1 inch that you're going to remove from both sides when you sew close the edges. So let me go ahead and couple mine together, and then I'll bring it back so you guys can see. So guys, this is it here. You see, this is the zipper in front. I just use bias to run through the neck, cut off the excess part of the zip, and this is the back here. You see, everything about the slits, both in front, they all started at the same point. The one by the side, also the same line for all my slits. So this is it here. So this zip here, you can even separate it, you see. So it's just like this, and you can close it back up. And you see what I was saying about using the glue thing? That's what I used for this part here. You see, there's no seam here. I just put in the glue thing and ironed it. So this is my short. Like I said, I have several videos on how to make this short on my channel. So I added a pocket here, and then I also added a pocket here. And you see the back, it has an elastic. I also have a video on if you want to make your pants with just zipper, but I decided to use elastic for this because it's just a casual way. So that's basically it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Bye.